All right. Good morning, class. Sorry about my voice. I am coughing and I am a bit sick, but I want some from teaching today. All right. So get out your FRQs I handed you out yesterday. Hopefully you did them. I'll be going over scenario one. So assume that Robin Fenty deposits $400 cash from her pocket into a checking account. We have to calculate the following. Let's start with B1, the maximum dollar amount the commercial bank can initiate loan. Okay, so here our DD or our demand deposit is going to be 400 bucks. So let's write that down. Our required reserve ratio is going to be 20%. And you see it says it at the top. Okay. Our RR is going to be found whenever you multiply your percent ratio times your DD. So it's going to be 400 times 0.20 equaling 80, and that equals our required reserves, which each bank has to hold. So out of these required reserves, you subtract that minus your DD. Let me write this down over here just so you guys can know. And that equals our RR. So 320 is our RR, and that's the maximum dollar amount the commercial bank can initially lend. That's our excess reserves. You can remember that, guys. So, all right, now that we figured this out, let's do B2, the maximum total change in demand deposits in the banking system. So here the banking system is involved, and whenever the banking system is involved, we have to use our monetary multiplier. Okay, so in the banking system, just so you remember, you need to make sure that the money multiplier will always be used. And here the central bank controls and regulates the entire banking system of the country. It does not deal directly with the public. It uses guidelines for the commercial banks for the economic development of the country. Okay, so let's continue. Our MM, our money multiplier, it's going to be found by dividing 1 over our required reserve ratio, in this case being 20. So that equals to 5. Multiply equals to 5. So the maximum total change in demand deposits in the banking system. So alright, let me erase this. So here we would multiply our excess reserves times our monetary multiplier, equaling 1,600. But we still have to add the initial deposit, okay? Don't forget that. Whenever it's asking for the demand deposits, we have to add the original DD to it. So $2,000 is the maximum total change in demand deposits in the banking system. So let me erase this. So that's our answer for B2. Okay, and last for B3, the maximum change in the money supply. So here, we're gonna multiply our ER times our MM being 5, and that equals 1,600. This time we don't add any 400 or initial DD to it, and that's the maximum change in the money supply. So, all right. Let me move on to. Give me a second, guys. Okay, so let's move on to problem C. Assume the Federal Reserve buys 12 million in government bonds on the open market. Okay, so here we have to find the maximum increase in the money supply in the banking system. So when the Federal Reserve buys that 12 million in government bonds, that's automatically our ER. Don't forget that, because what I used to do in high school with my teacher is I would go the long route and I would try to find the RR, the ER, and I'd end up doing what you're supposed to do in problem number 2, and that's not how it's supposed to be done. it's supposed to be done in problem number 3B, where all we do is multiply the 12 million times our monetary multiplier still being 5, and that equals 60 million. So that is our answer for problem C. Well, okay. Because you might have a test tomorrow, let's review over our notes yesterday. Okay, let's go over contractionary and expansionary monetary policy. Pay attention, guys. When you think of contractionary policy, think inflation. This policy will decrease IG, targeting the high federal fund rate, being interest rate. Banks changes, the banks charge one another for overnight loans. That's a federal fund rate. Let me repeat that. They're targeting a high federal fund rate, being the interest rate the banks charge one another for overnight loans. An increase in discount rate, and the rising of the reserve requirement. So expansionary policy is the opposite, okay? Remember that. So in this case, we're trying to increase IG, a decrease in the federal fund rate, a lowering of the discount rate, and theoretically a lower reserve requirement. These are this, guys. So let me ask you a question. For problem number C, for scenario C, it says assume the Federal Reserve buys 12 million in government bonds on open market operation. So in this case, the economy in this problem would be in a recession because they're trying to buy government bonds in this case. So that's just something so you guys remember. And I think that's pretty much it. Yeah, guys, just study for your test, and hopefully you guys do good tomorrow.